Hello guys, Ho back in the video. Today we'll be comparing three humidifiers to figure out which one is the best humidifier. We're going to look at different features each one have, what they don't have, and even judging it based off the looks. I mean, come on, this RGB green is pretty cool. This one actually does have a little light as well. It has this little small little light, and this one has the kind of light on the side. But yeah, we'll kind of compare these. So the first thing that really does stand out to me, honestly, between these humidifiers is that the Breezome one in the middle, this one is the all black design, looks kind of cool. It has, this nice slope. I feel like it does look pretty nice, but it doesn't actually have the ability to use an app and Bluetooth with this one. So the other two do, and their apps are actually really good on both of them. And the app actually lets you kind of, turn it on and off with your phone. You can set different kind of temperatures, more specific settings. And so you're able to fine tune your experience a lot more. So I think the Breezome in that sense is behind the other two. But if you take a closer look at the Breezome, they have an auto mode, but the auto mode only goes between 55% and 95%. So if you use this, or 90%, so yeah, it doesn't really have a huge range of humidity that you can choose in its auto mode versus using the app. You can get these down to like 30 or 40 for both of these. So they're kind of better in that sense. You have a better range and, like I said, better fine-tuned options. So I feel like the Breezome for me at least would be the last one if you care about the app experience. But in terms of look, some people might really like this, but I feel like being able to clearly see your water level very apparent is also very nice versus, this one you kind of have to look on the side, and through the side you can see, exactly kind of where it is. You can definitely tell, but it's just a little harder, but I guess the nice kind of green RGB there. But the Dreo itself has, the biggest RGB, this nice kind of green color that tells you it actually changes color based off the humidity. So for this one, basically goes yellow if it's under 30%, green if it's from 31 to 60%, and then when it's higher than 61 turns blue. You can actually customize the color settings, but that's the nice thing about this one. Obviously, they all have their different buttons, so you can change the light, turn it on and off. It's pretty normal on each one of these, right? You can turn on and off the RGB. They have auto modes. They have timer modes. They have, you can turn it on for 12 hours with each of these timer modes. So they all kind of have the similar layout and functionality in each one. But this one has, 6 buttons, but no app. This one only has 4, but the app kind of makes up for it. And then this one has, I guess 5 buttons, and the app makes up for it as well. In regards to features and functions, they're all pretty similar. You also could put different scent filters in each one of these as well, and that's kind of cool. But essentially, there's a scent filter on the back of this one. But essentially over here, I can pull these out right here, and then you can put different aromas that you want. The Breezome has one right here as well on the back, on the side. And then the Levoit also has one in the back where you can pull it out and kind of put different aromas if you wanted to. But yeah, ultimately, I feel like the comparison really comes down to the Dreo and the Levoit for being which one would be the best personally. And honestly, I think aesthetics is one thing that people are really gonna like care about. Like this one has a nice round, the big RGB. This one has like a kind of a focused light, but it's only like in that one area. And so maybe the fact that this light is kind of small and this one's kind of more prevalent, a little bit nicer, you can kind of choose which one you like. I think the Dreo is a little cooler with the green. This only has that one color light. So I think aesthetic wise, this is also more boxy. This is more kind of circular, which can also play a factor in types of looks, honestly. So I feel like at least looks wise, I do like the Dreo a little bit better. And another thing to show you guys is really the misting. So the Dreo right now is just going ham. It can definitely mist a lot. I noticed that this one has, I guess, the most flow if in regards to how much it kind of puts out. The other two also kind of have it, but this has like a long bar, which I think helps versus these have a thicker, so they kind of come out in a thicker foam, less kind of widespread for both of these, but that's the difference in their design. So now I have them all set to on at the target humidity. I mean, they're all kind of outputting a lot of kind of, humid. So they definitely all can pump a lot, but I feel like This one might have a little bit more surface area, but these are more concentrated and they're thicker. But I think the Levoit actually puts out more than even the Breezone. So really, I mean, it comes down to you, but I think for sure the Dreo and the Levoit are like the number one ones. We can take a look at their app to even see what else they do, but I think those are like the best ones for me personally. All right, so let's take a look at the app that it comes with. So the one that we're looking at right now is the Dreo. So Dreo, it looks have really kind of nice UI. You can kind of see what the humidity is at right now currently. It kind of gives you a report over time. So it's a stable 44 until I start turning it on for this demonstration. And it gives you kind of average over time as well. But going back, you can actually change the modes, right? So there's actually, manual mode. They all have manual modes. You can choose like, one, two, or three. But I think most people would probably use auto mode. So you can kind of choose exactly what you want. And they also have sleep mode, which, turns off the light while it's staying kind of on. So it doesn't kind of, wake you up with all the light. So yeah, you can see the different modes. It's pretty simple. And it kind of, has the fine tune, and you can turn it on and off if you don't want it on and off with your phone. So I just find all of that convenient connected to your Wi-Fi. So the Levoit is similar. It has a Wi-Fi, it can connect to different things. I have an air purifier, and I also have, well, their humidifier as well. So then the humidifier is very similar, right? You have auto. You can choose your target, so as low as 30, as high as 80. So you can kind of choose the range that you want, and it'll warn you if it's above or below your target. And then you can have auto on and off, which kind of chooses, if it's kind of too high or too low. It also gives you kind of over time your humidity level as well. And so you can kind of see how it's performing. I feel like it would be nice to have like, I guess, more bars, but you can kind of scan it to see. And then going on as well, we have the manual modes where you can choose again like how much you want, a sleep mode. So like I said, they're both pretty similar. The app is really nice as well. Which one do you choose? So honestly, like Dreo actually sent me this one out to do comparison against these three. So you can say I'm biased or whatever, but I think the point they were trying to show in this example really is that I think this one has the best looks. The actual functionality, I also noticed that this one is very quick to turn off when it hits the humidity target, versus the one, the Levoit, kind of gives it an air room of about plus or minus 5%. So it'll keep pumping even above your target. While this one, once it hits your target humidity level, it'll just instantly shut off. So I feel like that could also be a little fine-tuned difference between them. So you can choose whichever one you want. But I feel like this one is slightly more accurate in that sense. But honestly, you could be happy with any of these three, but the Breezone, I think, is a distant third. This one, to me, just because of the looks, I think is really the thing that separates it for me, is first, and then this one would probably be second, but honestly, pretty close as well. So if you're trying to choose between humidifiers, that's kind of how they compare and how they stack up.